Hey everyone, it's Miss O'Donnell. So today we're still going to be talking about arc length, but we are going to go a little bit further than we did yesterday. So yesterday we learned how to find arc length. So you'll remember arc length is the measure of how long the arc is. So from A to B, if I were to take a ruler and measure it, instead of getting a degree, I'm going to get a length. So centimeters, feet, yards, miles, inches. And our formula was arc length equals central angle divided by 360 times 2 pi r. So 2 pi r, remember, was the circumference of the circle. The central angle is going to be the angle that makes the arc. So in this case, it would be 100 degrees. So as a warm-up, why don't you pause the video, see if you can find the arc length of AB. So you should have done central angle divided by 360. 100 is your central angle, so 100 divided by 360 times 2 pi, and 5 is your radius. You plug all that into your calculator. Remember that we're using the pi button, so 100 divided by 360 times 2 times pi times 5. You should get 8.72664625999, so on. And you can round that up to 8.7 centimeters. So arc AB is going to be 8.7 centimeters. So now instead of just finding arc length, we're going to have to solve for the other variables, so the central angle or the radius. I'm going to start with the radius because that one's a little bit easier. So this is definitely going to be complicated, so make sure you're paying attention, you're writing down notes, and you're working through the problems with me because your exit ticket's going to look just like these. All right, so step one is always to write down the formula. Length equals angle divided by 360 times 2 pi r. Always write that down first. Then fill in everything you know, right? Do I know the length of AB? Yeah, it's right here, 10.47. Do I know the angle? Yeah, it's right here, 100 degrees. Do I know the radius? No, I'm going to call that x. I'm going to go ahead and plug in what I know. 10.47 is the length, 100 is the angle, x is the radius. So I'm trying to solve for x. X is over here. I put it in green so you can see it. Then I have all this extra stuff I want to get rid of. So what I'm going to do first is plug this into my calculator. 100 divided by 360 times 2 times pi. All right, hopefully you got about 1.7453. You probably got a really long answer, a lot of decimal places. Try to keep as many as possible. The more decimal places you keep, the more accurate your answer is going to be. So you'll see at the end, our answers are going to get kind of crazy. So keep as many decimals as you can. So now I've got 10.47 equals 1.7453 times x. It's not, I want this 1.7453 to go away. I'm multiplying, so to get rid of it, you do the opposite of multiplying. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. So we're going to divide both sides by 1.7453. So I got 10.47 divided by 1.7453. You should have gotten 5.9989. We're going to go ahead and round that to 6. All right, so see this, the only reason why I got all these decimals is because I rounded throughout my problem. So the less you round, the closer to 6 you're going to get. So I'll always tell you what to round it to. It'll probably be the nearest whole number. So we can say that the radius of this circle is 6 centimeters. And if you want to go ahead and check your answer, you could plug it back into your formula. 100 divided by 360 times 2 times pi times 6. You should get about 10.47. All right, so that was a lot. So now I'm going to give you a practice problem. So I want you to solve for the radius of this circle. So go ahead and pause the video, follow the steps we just did. You can use your notes. All right, step one, write down the formula. So you should have written down length equals angle divided by 360 times 2 times pi times r. Then you should have plugged in everything we know. We know the length is 6.72. I know its length because it's measured in a length. It's also outside here on the circle. I know my angle is 35. If you get confused about which one's the angle and which one's the radius, look for the degrees, right? This angle is always measured in degrees. So 35 is my angle, divided by 360 times 2 times pi times x, because I don't know the radius. I'm trying to solve for that. So the next step was to combine all of these terms. So plug into your calculator 35 divided by 360 times 2 times pi. Remember, keep as many decimals as you can. So you should have gotten about 0.6108652. So I rounded it to 0.61. All right, the more decimals you keep, the better it is. To get rid of multiplying, we're going to divide. So we're going to divide both sides by 0.61. So I got 6.72 divided by 0.61. And I'm going to round that to 11. So I got 11.01639. I'm going to round that to 11 feet. The radius is 11 feet. So I've laid that one okay. I'm only going to do this one practice because it's kind of a lot. So now we're going to move on to central angles. So this is going to be slightly more complicated than the radius, but it's going to work the same way. Write down our formula, plug in what we know. So we've got our formula, length equals angle divided by 360 times 2 pi r. My length, right up here, 17.453 yards. My angle now I don't know, so I'm going to plug in x for angle. My radius is 8. So I went and plugged everything in. So now my x is like in the middle of this formula. All right, so just like before, we're going to combine some like terms. This is how I recommend doing it. Combining everything outside these parentheses. So I'm going to do 2 times pi times 8. 2 times pi times 8. I'm going to get 50.26548. I kept a lot of decimals on that one. All right. So all I did is I combined everything outside the parentheses, brought it down. Now I'm going to try to get rid of this. Right now I'm multiplying by 50. So I'm going to divide both sides to get rid of it. So I'm going to do 17.453 divided by 50.26548. So when I divide my 17 by my 50, I'm getting 0.3472 equals x divided by 360. All right, so we've got less over here by our x, but we still have this 360. To get rid of divide by 360, we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to multiply both sides by 360. So I got that 0.3472 times 360. So I got about 125. I actually got 124.99. Anytime you have 0.99, you're going to round it up. So we got 125 degrees. Remember, the angle is in degrees. So that one has like one extra step. So we're going to go through 2 more problems. So make sure you wrote all that down. So go ahead, pause the video, try to solve for this central angle. Keep in mind we're solving for this big one. All right, step 1, write down the formula. Step 2, plug in what you know. So we've got our formula. I plugged in my arc length, which is 29.32. I plugged in my angle, which is x, and I plugged in my radius, which is 6. And I'm going to combine everything outside the parentheses. 2 times pi times 6. I got 37.6991118. And so I kept 3 decimals. Remember, keep as many as you can. Then I'm going to get rid of this. Right now I'm multiplying by 37.699. To get rid of that, I'm going to divide both sides by 37.699. So I got 29.32 divided by 37.699. So that's going to give me 0.77773946. All right, I kept all my 7s. And then I have this fraction still left over. X divided by 360. So now I've got one last step. I got to get rid of this divide by 360. I do that by multiplying. So 0.7777 times 360. I get about 280 degrees. All right, I got one last practice problem. So go ahead and try this one. Solve for the measure of this central angle. All right, so here's what your work should look like. You should have wrote down your formula, plugged in all your values, combine like terms right here, get 62.83, get rid of that by dividing both sides by 62.83, get rid of this divide by 36 or 360 by multiplying both sides by 360, You should get about 146. If you got something different, make sure you didn't round too early. If you have any questions, ask me. I can go through some more problems with you if you want some help. This is a lot. So yesterday we learned how to find arc length. Today we're going to be solving for the angle and the radius. So we're using the same formula. We're just working backwards. All right, so how are we feeling? Ignore this. That's what we're doing today. All right, so today we're solving for the angle and the radius. That's what your exit ticket's going to look like. If you have any questions, make sure to email me or join me for office hours today. Go ahead and start your exit ticket. It's going to look just like these problems. So make sure you took notes. You can use your notes for your exit ticket. I recommend that. Make sure you have your formula written down. Make sure if you get an answer that's not a multiple choice or if you're confused, make sure you contact me right away. Hope you have a really great day. Good luck.